Izzy, I think the thing that he should look to work on for improvement from here is that whenever he's in there inside and he's landing those shots like that, he's got to work on the turnover.
Jamahal!
What's going on? There you have it, fight fans. And still, Dricus Du Plessis defeats Isreal Adesanya to retain the middleweight title. Good fight, solid performance on both guys' part. Both of them had to fight through some adversity. Both of them were able to showcase their skills and what they bring to the table. And Jenkins was able to battle through and get it done. You know, shout out to him. A hard fought fight. A fairly all right card for the most part. You know, we had some knockouts, a lot of decisions, and some very, very, very questionable things that took place on this card, which was insane. I'm gonna go ahead. From the prelims. You know, we had first prelim of the night. We had Jenkins taking on Herbert Burns. Herbert Burns actually found a chin in this fight. He was able to eat some shots early, weather the storm, give himself a chance to actually win in this fight, which was good to see. He got him down, worked this spot on the top, and was hoping to get back to that, but Jack is just, he's good, dog. He's got good striking. He's a good, solid fighter. And he was able to put it on Herbert. And eventually he just was no mas, man. He wasn't able to take anymore. And the ref had to stop in and help him out because he wasn't able to get back to his feet. So good fight there. Solid win with Jack. Luana Santos versus Casey O'Neill was a solid performance from Casey. I think a lot of what we've seen in this one from Luana, she gassed pretty early. She kept trying to get to that hip toss. Later in the fight, she got to it, and it also played into her downfall as Casey was able to secure and get on her back and grind her out to secure that round, which I'm pretty sure she took the majority of those rounds. She looked good throughout the fight. She got hit, was able to eat some shots, but she held better composure, was more coming forward, just looked to be better in shape and more ready for the fight that night. So yeah, that was that. Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. Now, this fight was, for the most part, a good fight. The Ramos guy came out looking well. Now, I like Josh is cool. All right, I like Josh. I've seen we've chatted on social media. He shows support. He's always got my support. But I gotta be real with you, bro, because this is just how I am. What was done in this fight was one of the lowest IQ moves that I've seen in almost the history since I've been watching this. What Josh did in this fight was equivalent to Sean O'Malley. Remember when Sean O'Malley fought, I forgot what that guy's name was, when Sean O'Malley's leg was messed up. He had a serious injury to his leg, could not stand up, could not walk. And the guy took him down and laid on him for the rest of the fight rather than make him stand up so the ref could see that he couldn't walk, which probably would have gotten him a win. Josh kicked this guy in the leg, dropped him with leg kicks, right? Had him hurt, dropped him with leg kicks. He then proceeded to let him lay on his back, just stand over him, popping little leg kicks or whatever little kneel shots that he could, rather than just letting him stand back up. You just dropped him with leg kicks, and you allow him to lay on his back, essentially not doing much of anything, and recover. Not only do you do that, you then allow him to stand up, and you don't throw a single leg kick again. You don't kick that leg again for the entirety of the rest of the fight. I'm baffled. I don't know what to say. I truly don't know what to say. That is just like a complete collapse of just IQ and awareness of what's going on in the fight and just knowing what to do to win a fight. You know what I mean? At this level, bro, there's no way that he should have been able to come back, let alone win this fight. Ultimately, in the third round, he caught him with a shot that cut him, and then he ended up getting on top of him and able to just hold him down until he was able to come out with the victory. And he did win the fight. He won the first round, and then he won the last round. Not the first round, the second round. Well, one of those rounds. He won the first or the second round. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I was just completely baffled by the fact that you could drop somebody with a leg kick. Had clearly their leg is compromised. He was switching stances, everything, and you don't go back to it. I just don't know what to say. You know, if any, it was a split decision, so he probably feels like he lost. But believe me when I tell you this, bro, and this is all with love. You earned yourself this defeat. You greatly earned yourself this defeat. Moving on, Valter Walker versus Junior Tafa. Big boys came out to fill each other out at first. trying to swing with some heavy leather. And Valter figured out that, hey, I got a better chance if I take this guy down. Junior looked good. He's actually trimmed down. He came in and really looked to be in really good shape, which ultimately pushed Valter to go into his bag. And he got him down, got him in a knee lock where he screamed out in verbal submission. I don't know what the whole scrum was or the disagreement was at the end, but verbal submission is verbal submission. You tapped, you know what I mean, essentially. So the whole thing at the end of that was just weird. Moving on to the main event. The main event started out with the Leech versus Carlos Prates, however you say his last name. This dude is deceptively tall. I didn't realize how tall and like the length. He's got really long legs and really long arms for the welterweight division. And he put it on Leech. He looked good. He was composed. He was walking him down, picking his shots beautifully, and ultimately ended up finding the right shot to put on Leech and put him out cold. Nasty knockout. He looks good. He looks composed. He's knocked out now the last 3 guys that he's fought. So they definitely got a competitor in the welterweight division, and I look forward to seeing what comes next with him. Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik was a pretty close fight. Really good back and forth. You got to see some of the athleticism from Ty. But ultimately, Jairzinho edged it out with the skill. Like I said before the fight, he has more tools to win. You saw the footwork. He had better footwork, better quick pop strikes, and just a deeper bag and ability to do more on the feet. We knew the fight wasn't going to the ground, and ultimately, I believe Biggie Boy used his skills in the kickboxing realm to secure himself this victory. Another surprising win. Dan Hooker, big underdog, coming in and taking out Gamrot, barging his way back into the top 5. Incredible fight from Dan, man. Incredible fight from Dan. Gamrot came out how we know he does, hot and ready to looking to set a pace and put a pace on Dan. He was able to land some good shots on him early, get him down and control him early on. But at the end of that first round, Dan was able to clip him and had him hurt. And it looked like he potentially was able to almost get the finish. And that even though Gamrot was controlling a good portion of that first round, and plus he had Dan cut. He had him cut above his eye and things like that. But make no mistake, he almost got put away in that first round. So I would think that's what swayed the round towards Dan and some of the judges' mind with that. Gamrot came out, controlled the second. Had better control in the second round. Was able to get off a little bit more, avoid the shots. But Dan stayed consistent in walking him down. Right, he stayed consistent in his face and consistent. He found the range and found the pace. He was able to slow the pace down to where he fought well, and he was able to hurt him. Third round, he came out and beat him up, put it on Gamrot, landed great shots, just in range. He realized, all right, I gotta stay calm and be able to deal with what's coming at me. So I think he kind of slowed it down a little bit. And as Gamrot tried to close the distance, he picked his shots and he found good and effective shots that were able to hit him and hurt him and kind of shy him away from just committing and just pressing on the gas pedal on him. And Dan being the longer, lengthier, better striker, he was able to use that to his advantage and come out with a split win. Crazy, 2 back-to-back split victories. Kai France versus Julio Arce was nasty while it landed. I thought Arce would come out and be a little bit more sharp, but right away you could see whenever Kai was hitting, the power difference, right? Like I said in the thing, I thought Arce was a little bit more sharp and technical with the volume and the things that he was able to do. And I thought the power lied with Kai France, and that proved to be the factor because Kai was able to hit him, ultimately caught him with his feet crossed. He made a big error crossing his feet, and he got hit with a good shot by Kai that crossed and kind of put him down. And from there, it was Kai jumped on him, and that was all she wrote. You know, he just came back and reminded everybody of the finisher that he is and the power in that even at the small weight class, he comes to put people away. That was good to see. In the main event, man, this was a great contest. It was a really, really good contest, and it showed it lived up to a good high level fight. All right, in this fight, it was playing out kind of like how I figured it would play out for the most part, right? So Izzy came out. He was using his movement and his athleticism to avoid kind of flow out of the way of Dricus' strikes and then get in range and kind of land his shots and flow out of the way. Dricus was just kind of for the most part in the beginning, it looked like he was trying to find his range, right? Trying to find his range, trying to find where he could find Izzy at. The one thing that he did and that I noticed that he does do again consistently is when he gets hit, he makes sure he goes and gets that hit back, right? So regardless of anything, like early on, and then in doing that, it also shies you away from things, right? If you throw something and even if you land it, and then eventually, like, all right, the next exchange you end up getting hit back, you start to think about that a little bit. All right, maybe I can do something better. It just even thinking about maybe adjusting it a little bit changes things. You know what I mean? So early on in the first round, Izzy came out and hit Dricus with a heavy leg kick, which, if you remember my breakdown, that's what I felt that he needed to do. The heavy leg kicks and the teep kicks to the body would be the money. He came out, he hit him with a solid leg kick that kind of buckled Dricus's posture. When Dricus's posture buckled, the minute it did, and he realized he got hit with a good shot, he started throwing. He instantly came back throwing. He threw maybe like a 3-punch combo, which one of them he caught him at the end of one of those punches to get it back. You know, whenever Israel went to the teep kick, he was busy throwing his kick all the time. He used his kick almost like that lead switch kick up top. He almost used it like a jab, or as like a range clearer to set the range and the distance to where he just wasn't completely out of it. There's a range that Dricus keeps that allows him, because he lunges, right? He's a blitzer. He's a lunger and a blitzer. I think that kick creates a range that allows him to be just in that range where he's comfortable, to where he knows that if he lunges and he uses a little bit of extension, he does turn his punches over. If you look, whenever he hits, he turns his punches over a little bit. And when doing that correctly, gives you just a little bit more reach. Just a little bit more reach to be able to touch people. And I think he's really good at getting to that range, and he uses that front kick to do that. He did that in this fight. Even though it wasn't landing the same way that it was against Sean Strickland, it was a threat, and it was something that he had to continuously block and weave out of the way of, and things like that. So he was able to control like that for the most part. Izzy was getting inside, and he was piecing him up. Thing that I noticed, Dricus isn't very accurate when he punches. He's not accurate. There was one combination where Dricus blitzed at Izzy, and Izzy didn't move. Like, he didn't move at all, and every single punch just kind of flew right by him. You know, Izzy looked good. He looked good with his combination and his flow and in his boxing on the inside. The thing is that sit down. There's a certain sit down and turnover that you need to have with those shots. You know, he was finding home with the rear uppercut. You know, which it was good for a pop shot. It was landing, and it was doing some damage. But from the way that he was throwing it, he would have had to land that and then put a couple more shots on him. You know, for Izzy, I think a thing that he should look to work on for improvement from here is that whenever he's in there inside and he's landing those shots like that, he's got to work on the turnover. You know what I mean? That turnover that creates that power and that twerk to give you that real damage that comes from the hips and the base. It got down until it got pressed into the fourth round. I thought up until that point Israel was up ahead. I gave rounds 1 and 3 to Izzy. I gave round 2 to Dricus. And I thought Izzy was looking good. He was starting to pour it on. He was starting to sit a little bit more comfortable. Dricus kind of threw a couple strikes. Izzy wasn't moving back as much. It wasn't giving as much ground, and he was coming back in and finding good, clean, good shots on the inside, mainly the jab and the uppercut. But like I said before, bro, it's just something about whenever Dricus hits you, dude. This dude's durable. He's tough as shit. We've seen it. His face has been messed up his last I don't know how many fights. So he gets hit. He can take it. You know, I think it's his nickname is Steel Knocks. He takes them steel knocks, and he just keep knocking back because, like I said, there was a difference. Izzy was landing, but whenever Dricus hit Izzy, the reaction was different. It was a big difference from whenever Dricus hit Izzy as opposed to Izzy hitting Dricus. That last shot at the end, even the last shot at the end, that right hand that caught him, that clipped him across over the top of the head, that looked like it hurt him. That didn't look like much. It didn't. It was just a little bop. You know how sometimes you be going in by, you might do it in a touch shot. It don't look like much. It doesn't look like much when it hits him. Same thing with the Robert Whittaker jab. It doesn't look like much. But the reaction is, holy shit. You know what I mean? And then from there, it made him react enough to where he then got into exchange, and he turned and gave up. He turned his back. He turned his back and gave his back away. Somebody of Israel's experience and prestige and pedigree, you know, just don't do that. So it had to. So only thing I can think of, it had to have been the shot. The shot had to have affected him that much to where he turned, and then that second shot when he was up against the cage, when he had his back turned, That one, he was able to put another one on him that was a really, really good shot. You know, you get a really good look at it in the replay and the recap and the slow-mo. And from there, he got on his back, and man, dog, the strength advantage. He got on his back. He was able to hold him. He was able to, like you said, Izzy said he was able to switch his grip before adjust and switch his grip. He was a split second late before he could separate the hands in. He sunk in the choke and was able to get the win in, and we get the end still. Man, incredible, man. Incredible. Like they said, regardless of anything, you know, they came in a lot of bad blood, African lineage and things like that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, Africa won. They both represent Africa. You see African flags whenever you see either one of these guys. So anybody from that region or from that part of the world now has a light to say, hey, if I want a better life or I want something more, it can be done because Izzy has done it, because Kamaru has done it, because Francis has done it, and now because Dricus has done it. You know, so it's good. You know, the brotherhood at the end of it, the respect between warriors. You know, after that, like you said, is being inside that cage with somebody. It changes you. It changes things. You know what I mean? It bonds us as men for life in a very very special way. And so yeah, that was good to see them bury the hatchet and all the things with that. Now, before I close this out, before I going about my day, you know, because I wanted to get this out to y'all. We all seen the news, you know. I made a reaction video about the Khalil Roundtree and Alex Pereira title fight announcement, and there was one guy in particular that who yeah, I will agree, he's been given the runaround by the business, right? And I'm assuming now he's learned his lesson now to watch his mouth, because as you know, we talking about Mrs. I ain't even gonna little Fruitamed Ankalaev, ankle grabber, or whatever you want to call him. This dude just can't stop trying to like clout chasing whatever way he can, bro. Like you fought to a draw. You had your chance. You had your chance of winning the title. Now, I am one of the people that agree that he should have been next in the title shot above Khalil Roundtree, right? And you know what I mean? And I spoke on this, but for you to see, like, all right, say I'm crying because I spoke on an obvious fact of the game that affects everybody in our weight class and things like that. I see what you tried to do, bro. You see that the whole fan base, they're kind of against me. You know, they kind of want to try to throw shit on me and shit like that. You think that you can get some cool points by jumping on that bandwagon and trying to call me out. Stop it, bro. I would expect a low IQ move like that from you. You know what I mean? You don't want to say anything about the fight being announced because you've now learned your lesson from the time whenever you lost, talking about you don't want to fight for the UFC, and now they have now smacked your hand, and now you know to watch your mouth and stay in check. But here's another thing: you talking this fly out to Abu Dhabi, all this and that. You don't tell me where to come to fight, bro. If you want to fight me, I'm the former champion. You know what I mean? I've held gold. You want to accomplish what I've accomplished. You get what I'm saying? So when I decide whenever I'm ready, I'm good to go and things like that. And if I decide to give you a chance and I decide to fight with you, we'll do it on some shit on my terms. You're not the A side. You try to be the A side, the same thing, calling out Alex and things like that. And it's like, bro, you ain't held no gold. They don't even like you enough to let you fight over the number 8 dude. So chill out, bro. Chill out trying to get cool points, bro. Focus on the other shit. You got a fight coming up, you know what I mean, against Rakic, you know. Shout out to Rakic, because he probably, you know what I mean, he's very well capable of putting your ass out, you know. But best believe, if my phone ring and they need somebody to come step in and handle you, bro, you light work for me. And I can't wait to show that. I'm not going to do too much talking because, like I said, I'm healing up. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting back to form. But make no mistake, you already know what it is when I'm in form. Champion. You feel what I'm saying? So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead. We're going to end it. We're going to end that right there with that. Go ahead and kill that. Y'all enjoy y'all week. Good fights. Can't wait to see what's next. And y'all tap in.